Hi, I'm Steve and I'm on the Python Tools for Visual Studio team. In this video, I'll be giving a quick demo of how Python Tools for Visual Studio can help you when debugging exceptions. Python developers are used to dealing with printed stack traces, but when you're debugging, you don't want to be wasting your time. When something goes wrong, you're every bit as interested in the program state as you are in where it happened. The printed traceback will show you the location, but not what was going on. Python Tools for Visual Studio can break on exceptions and let you investigate the stack and local variables. If your script raises an exception and you haven't written a handler for it, Python Tools for Visual Studio will interrupt your program right where the exception is raised. This method isn't checking its parameters, so if we run it and someone has passed in a 0, we'll get a 0 division error and Python Tools for Visual Studio breaks in immediately. Here's a script that hopes that my breakfast will include spam, but if it doesn't, then it wants to keep going. The dictionary doesn't have any spam in it, so a key error will be thrown, but because we're handling it, Python Tools for Visual Studio doesn't break. This code assumes that eggs have a fur method. I think that should be fry. When we run this, we'll expect to break, but no, we've ended up with the old stack trace. Python uses some exceptions for control flow and handles them implicitly. These are exceptions like attribute error, index error, and stop iteration. By default, Python Tools for Visual Studio won't interrupt you if one of these exceptions is raised. However, if you know you're expecting one, you can enable it in the exceptions dialog. Click Debug, and then Exceptions. We can open up Python exceptions and find attribute error and enable it. Now when we run this code, we do break in when fur can't be found. When debugging with Python Tools for Visual Studio, you can easily view the state that caused the exception. Coming back to the first example, we can see that y must have been 0, but because y is a parameter, someone gave us the bad value. We can try and guess who, or we can start, break, and investigate. When we break, we get the whole stack trace, and it's live. So by working our way up, we can find the exact point where the bad value came from. There it is. Debugging with Python Tools for Visual Studio is easy, and breaking on unhandled exceptions is just one way that it will help you be a more productive developer with Python.